If you've ever bought prepared food at your local farmer's market, think scones, bread, or a hot meal, you've already stepped into a world where neighbors are feeding neighbors. Cottage food laws make that possible. They let people cook certain foods at home rather than in a commercial kitchen and sell them directly to the community around them. And the cottage food scene is growing and adapting. These days, they're not just at the farmer's market, they're on Facebook Marketplace and Instagram, offering tamales, bagels, and home-cooked meals to people just down the street. One of those kitchens belongs to Angela and Tony Ochoa. They run a tiny home bakery that's become a mild obsession in their neighborhood.
We are in Grand Rapids, Michigan at our house, and we're going to show you how we make bagels.
Yeah, and we even have a couple of scones on hand because we are the Cottage Bagel. We operate a little home bakery, and we like to provide scones and bagels to our community.
This is The Dish. I'm Mercedes Mejia. Today we're talking with the couple behind the Cottage Bagel about quiet morning rituals, baking in the Republic of Georgia, and what it means to be part of a growing community of home-based cooks.
I think you will be able to walk away with fresh bagels.
Yes. To understand how all of this began, I visited Angela and Tony at their house, where the bagels are hand-rolled, cold fermented, and topped with traditional seasonings or specialty ones like Dubliner cheese or za'atar everything seasoning, one of my favorites. Tony, you've developed a style that blends Montreal and New York style together. So what makes the cottage bagel a cottage bagel?
I think it is probably that hybridization. It does have some good lift to it. I still like a nice crumb as you slice open the bagel. But also, I want to be able to be sustained from this one bagel. I don't want to have to rely on all sorts of toppings or, the protein and the cheese and eggs and what have you. I want to be able to easily eat it with one hand while I have my book in the other hand. And so, that's literally like it. We would make them and be like, oh, this is too soft. Or we'd make them and it's like, oh, this is way too hard and chewy. My jaw is hurting. And so just a lot of trial and error of messing with hydration level and messing with how long we're kneading it, that we kind of developed this bagel.
Before the cottage bagel was a business, it was Tony's ideal morning ritual.
We have 3 kids, and usually mornings are quite hectic with getting them out to school or making them breakfast or trying to alleviate conflict between them of who's doing what to the other. And so it kind of stemmed from getting up early, preparing myself food before starting the day. And it's specifically that quiet morning, that space between of when I get up and the kids eventually get up and start roughhousing. And so if I can have a bagel and a coffee and a book and just enjoy that peace before the day starts, that's what I love.
When Tony and Angela lived in the Republic of Georgia years ago, that ritual didn't exist. Georgians didn't eat a lot of bagels, but bread was everywhere, and the aspiring bakers began to experiment.
Bread is very important in Georgia, and Georgians are excellent bakers also. We would go downstairs to the bakery and buy a bag of dough from the baker and bring it back upstairs to our apartment and make bagels with that dough.
Interesting that you brought that up, because I do think that's kind of rooted where the Quiet Mornings came from, is because we worked for a nonprofit that sent a lot of expats across seas, and they were talking about how difficult that cultural learning and cultural adjustment can be for people. And the person that was talking to us was saying, try to find that one thing that can give you stability and keep you grounded. As you're learning, the stress of language, the stress of learning new ways to buy toothpaste or learning ways to navigate your city. It's find that one thing that you can kind of be rooted to the know and to the comfort. And I realized that I think that's what coffee and bagel kind of became my, okay, let me start with this consistency. Let me start with this known. But because there's not a lot of bagels, at least when we were there in 2015, that's where the need arose of like, okay, we have to do it ourselves.
Years later, back in Grand Rapids, the bagels were still part of their life, but only for friends and neighbors. Until one day in October 2018, when Angela was looking at their budget and realized Christmas was going to be tight.
And I was like, oh my gosh, we didn't save for Christmas. We don't have enough money to get Christmas presents for the kids this year. And I was like, what can we sell? What can we sell? And I was like, oh, people are always saying, Tony, you could sell these bagels, or I would buy these bagels. These are so good. So I just put out an Instagram story, and I was like, hey, does anyone want to buy bagels this weekend? And it got a huge response. And it worked. We were able to buy presents for our kids, by the way.
When we return, how the Ochoas scaled up their baking operation and why they scaled back down, plus a window into their unique baking process. Be right back. By 2018, Angela and Tony were selling bagels more regularly. Plus, they started making scones and other pastries. They named the project the Cottage Bagel, after Tony's grandparents' cottage, a place of comfort and belonging. And Grand Rapids responded.
Yes, it's shocking, actually. Because it's a bit of a risk to buy a bagel online and then go drive to a stranger's house where they live and knock on the door and hope to be handed a bag of bagels.
Do you think this model could work in any community, or you think this is unique to Grand Rapids?
I love living in West Michigan. We've lived, in the Republic of Georgia. We've lived in a couple of different states, and I do think that Grand Rapids is unique in that it's big enough that we have this access to people that are doing and making these amazing things, whether it's the folks at Madre Masa who are nixtamalizing their own corn and making fresh tortillas. Grand Rapids, that it's big enough that it has this accumulation of talent, but small enough that it's all accessible. So whether it's someone that's making food, we have friends that they do fresh bouquets and sourdough, and they sell from their house, and they're on the north side. And so even though it's across town, it's only 15 minutes away on car. And so accessibility, I think, is a huge part that helps promote these arts, that helps promote this food.
I think the culture here is people really like supporting artisans and on an individual scale, because that's what it can be in a medium-sized city. And it is very community-oriented. We can know each other. And when people stop and pick up bagels, usually one of us is here and makes human contact with them, and often we'll have a conversation, and it's about more than bagels.
That sense of connection is what grounded the Cottage Bagel, but it's also what made the next chapter so complicated. Because then came the dream. Their favorite coffee shops wanted their bagels, and scaling up was a new challenge.
It became difficult because, and shout out to all the bakers out there that are able to maintain it, but as a young family, we had 3 kids. I was waking up at 3, getting done with bagel deliveries around 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., and we were delivering to a lot of local coffee shops. And I realized that I was not only giving up my mornings by waking up so early, but also my evenings because I was getting tired. And it was difficult for me. And it was also can be quite difficult to rent a commercial space and be cost prohibitive.
Oh, yeah.
After stepping back from the commercial grind, Angela and Tony returned to the part of the work they love most. That slow, hands-on process of making a bagel that feels special and sharing it with others. And the best way to understand that process is to taste it with them.
I'm going to go to the fridge over here and get our bagels.
On Friday mornings, they wake up at 4:30. The oven goes to 500, a pot of water starts to boil, and the bagels that were shaped 2 days earlier come out of the fridge.
First of all, the disclaimer of everything is that there's so many steps. If you were to look up a bagel recipe online or watch a video, you're going to see slight variations in so many steps along the way. Include everything from the hydration to how long it's needed, to what's put in it, the sweetener, how much salt, to how long you boil it, to what goes in the water. So you are truly getting the unique cottage bagel experience.
And if you want to try making it yourself, their full recipe is up online.
What we do is we build the dough in the mixing bowl. So we have our water, we have our flour, we have our sugar, our yeast, our pre-ferment, which is a portion of the dough that we've saved from last week, and our salt. And we put that in for 10 minutes. It mixes on the lowest setting for 10 minutes.
Then they all go in the refrigerator to do a long, slow cold ferment for 2 days. And that just develops this really lovely flavor. And it helps the crust a lot too. And I think it contributes quite a bit to the shine that the bagels ultimately get in the end. But it's really the flavor that, the longer you leave dough in the fridge to ferment, the more complex the flavor gets. I'm going to do about half the amount that I usually do in the bigger pot. But we got the oven set to 500 and our water's boiling. And now we're going to add some brown sugar and baking soda.
The baking soda increases water alkalinity for better browning, also called the Maillard reaction. The brown sugar adds flavor, and both add to the bagel's color, its chew, and its slight pretzel-like nature.
If you've ever made pretzels at home, it's the amount of baking soda in the water that gives it that brown. So it's nothing that you're putting in the dough. It's purely the chemistry of the water boiling.
How long do you boil them for?
If it floats right away, we'll do 3 minutes.
Oh, quick.
And if it... see, there it goes. There it goes.
The bagels come out of the boil and onto a tray before going into the oven. And here's their signature move. Toppings on both sides.
And on this bagel, the cheese everything, we have a slice of Dubliner cheese. So it's almost like a mix between cheddar and Asiago. So it has that saltiness that people expect from an Asiago bagel, but it has a good melt. And on the bottom is everything, because those are my two favorite bagel flavors, our cheese and everything. And lo and behold, they work really great together.
The everything seasoning and the za'atar, the way that those smell, like the second that you put them on the boiled bagel, even before the oven, is amazing.
20 minutes later, the kitchen smells like toasted sesame, garlic, and warm bread. So you don't have to wait too long. You take them out, you season them, and then
you can handle it. Yeah. And there you go. I mean,
look at that.
Look at that.
And then Angela slices one open for us to try. So I'm going to put some just cream cheese on the bagel. It has a really great chew.
We really like that crispy crust that you can really bite into, and it's got substance. It doesn't hurt too much to eat it, but it's a full meal all in itself.
It's delicious. I love the bottom is nice and toasty, but you don't get a whole lot. I love a good bagel. Standing in their kitchen, eating warm bagels and talking about dough and family, I can see why Angela and Tony chose this slower way of working. But they still want to make sure as many people as possible can enjoy what they make. All their bagels and pastries are vegan. It's a choice shaped by their daughter's dairy sensitivity. And if anyone needs gluten-free, they'll do that to order.
Angela actually developed a pretty great gluten-free bagel as well. And so every now and then we'll do a gluten-free week where we make the scones gluten-free, the bagels are gluten-free, just because there is so much joy in seeing someone kind of self-select and say, oh, I don't think I can, but then we reaffirm them and be like, actually, let's see what we can make for you. And so Yep, all the scones are vegan. Everything on the menu is vegan, except for anything that explicitly says it has cheese on it.
That kind of care, meeting people where they are, is what the Cottage Bagel is all about. In a moment when local connection can feel fragile, Angela and Tony are part of a growing movement of home cooks and bakers feeding their communities, 1 dozen at a time, whether that's through Instagram messages or porch pickups.
Even when it's like $10 that you're spending for small businesses and for farmers at the farmers market, that matters significantly to them. And so I think in Grand Rapids have such a spirit of collaboration. I've heard people say collaboration over competition. Yeah, collaboration over competition, or community over competition. And I don't know, that's the spirit, really. Like, we love the other bagel places in town. The more bagels, the better, you know? Like,
I love it.
Bagels for everyone. I'm Angela.
And I'm Tony. We're from the Cottage Bagel.
And that's The Dish.
Thanks to Angela and Tony for letting us into their kitchen and sharing the story behind the Cottage Bagel. And to you listening, thank you for spending part of your day with us. We love hearing from you. Tell us about your favorite neighborhood kitchen or bakery. Email and submission form in the pod episode description. If you want to see what Angela and Tony are up to, follow the Cottage Bagel on Instagram. That's where they post about pre-ordering, pop-ups, and whatever's coming out of their kitchen next. The Dish is produced by me, Mercedes Mejia. Our editors are Ronia Kabansag and Laura Weber Davis. Music from Audio Network. The Dish is a production of Michigan Public.